They restored everything.
What's good, fam? I wanted y'all to check this out right here. This picture was taken in 1890, Mayan temple. Notice the 5 openings on the building. It's hard to believe it, but this is the same building. Your governments have been restoring antiquity. The problem with this is the making of pyramids out of mounds. Indigenous Americans were mound builders. We didn't build pyramids using concrete. The restorer is blending an Egyptian image in America. We are mound builders. This is what the Spanish explorer De Soto saw, mounds. I question any images drawn on the pyramid. This is the original look. This is the restored look. They have been doing this for some time, 1889. Are you truly looking at the original buildings of the past? Friend up.
I'm here in Mexico, at the Mayan city of Zibanche. My last video on Teotihuacan was so popular, I decided to come here and show you some secrets from the Mayan territories in Costa Maya. Zibanche is very interesting in that archaeologists don't know anything about who really built the site, or even its real name. The name Zibanche comes from the Mayan word for wood tablet, because they found some wood tablets here when they discovered the site. But as usual, archaeologists are just making things up. As is common in most cover-ups, the original wood tablets have since disappeared. I came to Zibanche specifically because it's the first historical appearance of the people that the Mayans called the Khan, the serpent or snake people. This group, the serpent people, seem to have been a later group that came in and took over the city. This city has a lot of architectural features in common with the pyramids that were built in Teotihuacan. It's thought that this city, as well as Tikal to the south, both had a link with Teotihuacan originally. But somewhere along the line, the Khan, the snake kingdom, came in and took over, warred with Tikal, and took over the area. And this is what I mean about the architecture. It is very similar to what you'd see in Teotihuacan. And as we know from my prior video, the Aztecs themselves say they came in and destroyed the true builders of the pyramids, the KNOWW, the men of great stature. And again, just like Teotihuacan, steps that are much too large for normal people. The names of the Serpent Kingdom rulers had a lot of references to the sky, Sky Watcher, Skyborn, etc. And in fact, the term Khan that the archaeologists use is not the term that the Mayans used. The real name is Akan, or Akanek, which means sky star or serpent star. So these people were literally the serpent people from the stars. And another interesting fact about these Khan people is that their Mayan hieroglyph actually encloses the Egyptian hieroglyph for Egypt, Kemet. This hieroglyph is a cross within a circle, and I'll show it to you because it appears all over the world. The fact that an Egyptian hieroglyph is contained within their Mayan hieroglyph should be very interesting to people when you realize the Akan sounds a lot like Akhenaten, the Egyptian pharaoh. In Egyptian, the entrance to the second world, the other world, the Duat, is through the 6th chakra, the 6th gate, and the guard is a serpent called Akan Arit. There's another interesting fact about these 3 holes, which are all tombs within this pyramid, and it goes from Mayan burials in general. A lot of Mayan burials cover the body with cinnabar, and over that cinnabar, they sprinkle mercury. And they found a ton of mercury under the Pyramid of the Serpent in Teotihuacan. And over the top of some of the carvings, they would sprinkle cinnabar and hematite. Hematite is a magnetic mineral. Now, if the pyramids are just piles of rock, why would you go through the trouble of making them magnetic?
Rare footage inside the bent pyramid.
So here you got the... Oh, wow. I hope the phone is picking up the way I see it. This is nuts. Block after block, pieced together. This pyramid, the bent pyramid, just opened in 2019, I believe in June. After something like 20 years of restoration, which is funny, because in modern times it takes us 20 years to restore something. that was said to be constructed in 20-something years in the ancient times. Think about that. See guys, this isn't the tomb. You see the design of all this, and we're up. So I'm on the 5th floor right now. Let me look down. Zoom in, you see. Like below me, it's like at least 60 feet. And I look up, so we're at like, up here it's at least 60, 70 feet. I don't know, as a guess, maybe 80. And just the nature of the layout. All right, I'm still going. Look at these blocks. All just stacked in. Look at this tunnel. Ow, fuck. I hit my back. I'll live. Yeah, I'm totally posting this on Insta. Hi there. Mind if I squeeze through real quick?
Come.
Yes.
Come.
Mind if I squeeze through, please?
Hey, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, up there he is.
Oh, fuck me.
And this is like a giant black box. Flesh and blood being goes into the box, is sealed in it. The box consumes them, and the body disappears.
The idea of a sarcophagus that has no actual mummy or body in it suggests the possibility of teleportation and the possibility of the transmutation of the physical body. It is a suggestion, perhaps, that those who built that monument and those underground rooms could completely portal out of our reality entirely.
Could it be that what was discovered in the Osiris shaft were the remnants of advanced technology? Technology that would allow for travel to other worlds. According to the pyramid texts, funerary inscriptions that were carved on the walls of the early Egyptian tombs, the sacred necropolis would serve as a gateway to the pharaoh's resurrection and ascension to join the god Osiris in the heavens.
The foundational premise of ancient Egyptian myth is that Osiris came from the stars, and that when he was resurrected, he went and dwelled in the star system Orion as a celestial being. The ancient Egyptians clearly described the Great Pyramid as a resurrection machine, as a teleportation device. The Sphinx functioned as the gateway.
Egyptologists have always assumed that the pyramids in Egypt were tombs for the pharaohs, and yet no pharaoh or Egyptian dynastic mummy was ever found in a pyramid in Egypt. A number of researchers have recently maintained that the Great Pyramid and some of the other pyramids in Egypt are actually these very sophisticated power plants. You have to wonder if the pyramids themselves weren't created to generate tremendous amounts of energy that was needed to open the stargates. And this was part of the resurrection scheme.
I don't know about you, but to me this is definite proof that advanced ancient civilizations did exist. Number 1, the Hathor Temple in Egypt, where there is a carving known as the Dendera light, which is a carving of a snake in a bottle and a jet pillar that perfectly resembles the light sources we use today. The snake in the bottle resembling a wire inside of a bulb, and the jet pillar resembling a box that acts as a receiver for this electrical energy. Extremely similar to modern electric technology. Number 2, the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent in Teotihuacan. During a dig in 2003, an archaeologist found something very strange at this pyramid. He discovered a perfectly cylindrical shaft leading to underground passages beneath the pyramid, where they found these: a strange jade crystal mask, crystal eyes, and large quantities of liquid mercury, an extremely rare conductive element that we use in electronics and in vehicles, which is the same exact thing that 5,000-year-old Sanskrit texts say the gods use for their flying vehicles. Basically fuel for their flying craft known as vimanas. Keep in mind, this temple is made to honor a feathered serpent god which came down from the sky. Number 3, the Mayan astronaut. On the tombstone of the Mayan king known as Pakal, which is under his pyramid, is inscribed a date which is older than the oldest Mayan city, which is Palenque, and obviously older than the pyramid itself. But the strangest part about it is the machine that is depicted on the tombstone, which Pakal is driving. He's driving with his 2 hands, his nose is connected to a wire as it was somehow giving him oxygen, and the fire coming out of the bottom of the ship. You're seeing this too, right? Same ship, different places, different gods, different faces. What the fuck is going on?
Mercator Arctic map shows an enormous island called Friesland, due west of Iceland, just south of Greenland's southwest indent. It had 6 major cities, 3 small towns, and its own coastal island chain, and a partridge and a pear tree. It was so important to the region that Mercator gave Friesland its own blow-up in the upper map corner. Van Dodecam put Friesland on his 1605 map. Same place, same shape, same name. Plancius put it on his 1605 map. Tijode, 1593, Friesland. Google Earth 2019 underwater. Due west of Iceland, just south of Greenland's southwest indent. Friesland.
Strange things the Sumerians knew about Part 1. They literally knew about a great flood that happened 6,000 years before them, which doesn't make any sense at all. Scientists just recently found evidence for the great flood that happened 12,000 years ago, yet the Sumerians somehow already knew about it. They also somehow knew about the Earth's 26,000 year cycle, which means they literally knew that the Earth tilted 1% every 72 years, which means they knew about the Earth's specific tilt and precision. They also weirdly knew about all the planets in our solar system, even depicting an extra planet they called Nibiru, which the beings that supposedly gave them their knowledge were from. It's also strange to note that all their architecture was in sacred geometrical patterns. They even had specific landing pads for the aircraft of the Anunnaki, which are known as whirlwinds, but I'll talk about this in another video. All the stuff we know about comes from the Sumerian tablets, which are literally sitting at the basements of museums. Supposedly the US government bought for $3 million during the Iraq War, just for them to collect dust.
Is it possible that the head of the Sphinx was originally carved to look completely different than it does today? And if so, could it have had the face of Anubis, a god that ancient astronaut theorists propose was an actual being who visited our planet in the remote past?
The Egyptians themselves genuinely believed that these were actual beings who had dog's head or jackal heads.
The god Anubis is listed as one of those who came during Zep Tepi, for the first time. One of the ancients who is openly cited in Egyptian mythology as being an extraterrestrial.
Is it possible that the first pharaohs didn't build the Sphinx, but discovered it? And might they have actually recarved its face? Perhaps the answer can be found by examining not when the Great Sphinx was built, but why.